What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the bait laboratory. We're out in the garage and we're going to be making some soft plastics for you guys today using the Do It Molds Essential Series molds. These are multi-cavity molds that you can use on the cheap, guys. These have 8, 9 multiple cavities that you can make a bunch of baits in a short period of time, and these molds are inexpensive. CNC molds in this same amount of cavities are going to cost you upwards of high 200s, 300s, 400s of dollars to get into making your own tackle. I'm going to show you some awesome baits in today's videos using these Do It Molds Essential Series molds. You're going to be able to get them on the cheap, make some awesome baits, and catch some fish on them. And in today's video, we are going to be using the Do It Molds Essential Series iCraw mold, the Essential Series Ripper mold, and the Wave Worm mold. These are all multi-cavity molds, so we're going to be able to pump out some serious amounts of baits in today's video. We're going to be doing different colors for each of these baits, so stay tuned. We got some good stuff for you. So the first mold we're going to use is the 8-cavity Essential Series Ripper Swimbait mold. We're going to be able to make up to 8 of these swimbaits. They're 3.5 inches long, and I think we're going to come up with a pretty cool color that we're going to mix up right now. Alright, so as of right now, we have no colorant inside of our cup here. We're going to go with only having flake in there at first. We're going to go with silver to start. And we're going to stir everything in. Get a nice little silver base. I got a bait fish. We're going to do a little bit of blue, not a lot. We'll do a little bit of purple. I think this is going to turn out kind of cool. We'll do a single color, and I think that with that silver in there, it's going to give it that kind of like that bait fish kind of look, and then we're going to have, you know, some of those purples and blues to just kind of give it a little bit of life. And I think that that's going to turn out pretty cool. So we're going to get our mold set up and make some of these up. We're going to give this one final stir, and then we'll use our injector and get all this plastisol drawn up, just like this. Then we're going to come over to our mold, do it one at a time. Now, it doesn't take a lot of plastisol to get these cavities filled up. This is a cold mold, so it will start to solidify a little quicker than normal. This is a 6-ounce injector from Do It Molds. I ended up getting this 6-ounce injector for some of these larger cavity molds. If you have not gotten one yet, I recommend getting the dual injector first, or getting one of these 6-ounce injectors. The dual injector gives you a lot of freedom to make laminate colors. It's 2 different colors on one bait. We've done some of those in the past, so you can check out some past videos to check those out. But this 6-ounce injector will fill up this entire mold, which is, you know, the beauty of having these Essential Series molds, is being able to get a lot of these baits made up in a short period of time with a very inexpensive mold. So I decided to bring out another mold. This is the Slick Shiner mold. It's another swimbait mold, and since I have enough of this plastisol, I'm going to draw up some more of it, and we're going to make another set of baits. I don't think I'm going to be able to fill up this entire thing, but we will find out. Again, this is a cold mold, so the first couple may not end up getting filled up all the way. Things might end up solidifying ahead of time. It's nice to have a warm mold, but we got to just make do. These do not take a lot of plastic to fill up. These are a thinner style swim bait, but I like this one a lot. It's actually one of my favorite Essential Series molds that Do It has, is this Slick Shiner mold. It's a great little swim bait. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but you actually can feel that tail kick when you're fishing it, especially if you're doing it like weightless or something like that, or just a real tiny head, or keel weighted or something like that. It does have a good little tail kick to it. So hopefully these turned out good. We were able to get all the cavities filled up, and hopefully we got all these cavities completely filled with our baits inside, topping off. And this is an 8-cavity mold, so we'll be able to make 8 of these swim baits as well. So our plastisol should be nice and cooled down enough to take off this top part of the mold. And these things turned out really well. Let me get this glove off. They should be cool enough. But yeah, I think these turned out really well. I think those are definitely some fish catchers right there. Nice little color to them. That blue really came through. That silver kind of tones it down. The purple didn't come through a whole lot, but I definitely think that these baits will definitely catch you some fish, especially if they're on like maybe some blue herring or something. Just anything, any bait fish with a lot of blue in them. I think the sand bass out here in San Diego, out in the saltwater, would probably get a kick out of eating these guys. Sometimes they like a lot of that glitter in some of the swim baits, but overall not a bad swim bait. So now it's time to check out these slick shiners. Pretty sure these are going to turn out pretty cool as well. Oh, I like these ones even better. I think these slick shiners turned out better than the rippers did. Just feel like maybe that little bit different of a sheen, maybe not having the ribs, kind of just toned everything down a little bit more. But yeah, I definitely think these things turned out good. Hopefully it's coming through on camera, but I'm liking these baits. They turned out really cool. So the next mold we're going to be using is the Essential Series iCraw mold. We're going to start off by adding some black flake. I like to add black flake sometimes first, because the black flake really does have a tendency to darken up your baits. And with these Essential Series molds, a little bit of color goes a long way. So I like to put the flake in there first because it's going to darken up our plastic already. And what I'm shooting for is going to be like a blue craw kind of a color. So the next color that we're going to put in here is going to be this watermelon brown. X2 colorant from Do It Molds. You can get everything you need to make these baits on the Do It Molds website, and I'm gonna put my affiliate link in there so that way you guys can click that link, save it, copy, paste it to whenever you're ready to go buy some baits. So the only way Do It Molds knows that I sent you over there is by using the link that's down in the description. So guys, just please use that so that way I can get credit for any sales. So the next thing we're gonna do is a little bit of blue highlight. And the reason we're going to do that is because then with this blue craw color, this blue highlight's going to kind of poke through depending on the angle that you look at the bait. So this may not show through a ton in the cup right here, but my hope is that once this gets all mixed in, this powder gets all mixed in, once we pour these baits, this blue highlight is going to poke through every now and then, and we might need to add a little bit of blue colorant to bring out that blue highlight a little bit more, but we won't know until we get everything nice and mixed in and worked in all the way. So based on what I'm seeing, I do need some of that blue. So again, we got Soft Baits X2 colorant in the blue colorant from Do It Molds. Shake it up a little bit, and then take the cap off. I'm just going to give it a 3 drops, 4 drops, and that should just bring out that blue a little bit. The X2 colorant is fairly concentrated, so you don't need a ton of colorant to bring out those colors. So we're just going to mix that in. My hope is that it's going to bring out some of that blue highlight, which it did. So I think that this is going to be ready to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this back into the microwave just to heat it up a little bit more, so that way when we go into this iCraw mold, it's going to show through a little bit more. Hopefully that blue swirl is coming through on camera, because it's definitely coming through here in the garage. So I think we got it ready to go. So we're going to make these up here in a second. Okay, so our plastisol is nice and warm, thinned up, which is going to be good for the Essential Series molds. One thing I have found with the Essential Series molds is you want to pour your plastisol a little bit hotter than you need to with the CNC molds. Not a big deal, you just got to pour it a little bit hotter. So we're going to drop this injector with all of our plastisol. We're going to be making 4 of these Do It Molds iCraws in this blue craw color. Basically, these are going to be a crawdad style bait, very lifelike looking crawdad style bait. 4 cavities, so we're going to get 4 baits out of this run. Doesn't take a lot to fill up these molds. I'm going to have plenty of plastisol left over. I probably didn't need to use this 6-inch injector, but hey, I can always put it back in that cup. Final one right here, and then we'll top off the sprues. Alright, so we're going to take these clamps off the iCraw mold and open it up. And I think they turned out pretty good. The blue did not come in quite as well as I would have liked, but they still turned out good. It's still a good watermelon color. Got a little bit of flashing, which isn't the end of the world. Flashing is just when you have a little bit of, you know, plastic over the edges there. Not horrible. Baits still look good, definitely still fishable, but that blue craw didn't come in as well as I would have liked. I've actually never poured blue craw, so that's probably part of the reason why it didn't turn out very good, but not bad looking baits. Good looking crawdad bait right there. Okay, so since this is a 4 cavity mold, we're going to go through and pour up another set of 4 of these baits. And the problem with these baits that I see is that they're just a little bit too thick with the color. And I just basically put too much color in there for my own liking. I still think this color turned out good, but it was more colorant than I needed to put in there. Like I said a minute ago, with these Essential Series molds, a little bit of color goes a long way. So you just don't need that much color. And then with the X2 colorant, you also have a pretty thick colorant. It goes Like, a little goes a long way with that too, so I just overdid it with the colorant. But still, these baits turned out good. They're still gonna definitely catch some fish. Okay, so it's time to check out these iCraws, see how they turned out, and these ones turned out really good. That's a great looking watermelon color right there. Those things will be great as jig trailers. You can use them on a Ned rig, you can fish them Texas rig, you could flip these, you could punch these. A lot of different things you can do with these baits right here. A lot of plastic in the bodies right here, so it's good for flipping and stuff like that because you have a little bit of plastic to kind of keep it a little bit weedless. Just an all-around good quality bait. All right, so the next mold that we're going to be using is the Do It Molds Essential Series Wave Worm mold, and we are going to be making basically a drop shot style worm. It's a flat worm kind of that are very popular right now for smallmouth. What I'm going to try to come up with right here is a natural kind of like a reddish, kind of red crawler type of a color. We're putting a lot of this purple flake in there. I might have already overdone it with the purple flake, but I think it's going to look good. We're going to add some of this red flake in there as well. And then we just got to be careful with our colorant, like I said before, because little goes a long way with these Essential Series molds. So we're going to get this all nice and worked into our plastisol. And then we are going to start adding some of that color in. We're going to add a little bit of purple, a little bit of brown into the mix here. And I think we're going to end up coming up with something pretty cool. All right, so the first color we're going to add in here is purple. I'm going to give it a lot. And then we are going to stir that in. This purple should give it a lot of color. And then we're going to give it some brown in order to tone down that purple. Actually darkened it a lot more than I was expecting it to. But we're just going to work with it. It's actually pretty cool how it is right now. We're actually going to add a little bit of red. I think might look cool in there. Redden it up a little bit, bring out some of that red flake in there. Kind of a off the wall color, but I think it's going to look pretty cool here in a second. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's bring that red flake out with that purple. It's actually a really good combo. It'll be interesting to see how this looks inside of our mold, but we're going to warm this plastisol back up a little bit, and then we're going to go right into the mold. All right, so our plastisol is ready to go. Nice and thin. It should go into our mold nicely. Draw it up into our injector. Just like so. These worms aren't very big. They are 3.8 inches, so just under 4 inches. I think these are going to turn out pretty cool. A little darker than I was expecting it to be, so hopefully everything kind of shines through. But just remember, guys, when you go to make these yourselves, a little goes a long way with these Essential Series molds. I think I've messed a couple of them up by letting the overflow go into the next cavity, so not exactly sure how this is all going to end up, but we'll do our best. Might have to make a few more of them, but that's alright. We can do that. We got plenty of plastisol left over if we don't have all of our baits looking good. Okay, so I think our plastisol is now dry and cooled down. Open up our mold and check everything out. Oh yeah, these turned out really cool, guys. Check those out. That turned out really, really cool. Hopefully it's coming through on camera, but that ended up being better than I was anticipating it, but it turned out really good. You can see those flakes coming through. You can see the red. You can just see everything kind of shimmering there. Really, really cool looking worm. I'm really happy with how those things turned out. So since we got a bunch of plastisol left over, we're going to make up some more of these. We're going to draw it up, go into the mold, hold that pressure, top it off. Next one. Guys, I'm really impressed with how these turned out. They turned out really, really cool. I was afraid that I had too much colorant once again, but all said and done, once these things came out of that mold in that last pour, I thought they turned out really, really cool. The one thing you want to pay attention to when you're using this mold in particular is be careful with your injector, so that way you don't have plastisol come out of the bottom. Because if everything wasn't as hot as it was, some of that plastic could have solidified on the way down into the mold and it would have really messed up my pour. That didn't happen, thankfully, so we ended up getting a bunch of baits, but as you can see right there, I started doing it right there. It's probably because I'm trying to do it one-handed, so that way you guys can see. If I was using two hands, it'd be easier to kind of manage everything, but I'm trying to give you guys the ability to see what I'm doing, so I'm off to the side holding it with one hand, and obviously that makes it a little bit more difficult, but really happy with how these things turned out. Okay, so we're gonna check on this final run of worms right here. And it looks like, once again, they turned out pretty good. Put them on our flat side right here. Try to give you guys a good look at how that color turned out. But overall, I'm really happy with this worm. I definitely think it's gonna catch some fish for sure. Hopefully it's coming through good on camera for you guys. But yeah, guys, that turned out exactly how I was going for. Love it to have a little bit of like a brown bottom right here on the bottom, like a laminate color with a brown on the bottom. I think that would look really cool. So as you can see, guys, in today's video, made some awesome baits using these Essential Series molds. Guys, these are very affordable molds. When you compare the amount of cavities you get in these molds to their price point, nothing compares out on the market. And as you can see, you can make awesome baits. All the baits in this video will catch fish. The swim baits, the craw, these worms, everything here will catch fish, guys. And I made a good quality product using these molds. Check them out on the Do It Molds website, guys. If you go to the website, make sure to use my affiliate link so they know that I sent you. It's the only way they're gonna know. Really helps me out in the long run if you guys use that affiliate link. Copy, paste it, save it for later. Just use the affiliate link. It really helps me out. But guys, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Go out, check out these molds, get them for yourself, and go out there and catch some fish, guys. It's awesome catching fish on baits that you make yourself, and hopefully these videos help you guys do that and introduce you to products that help you guys catch fish. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!